What's going on, guys? Flick here, and welcome to the first episode of Season 3 for this West Ham career mode save. So many of you left comments on the finale of Season 2 asking me to do this third season, and personally, I want to do this third season from the onset. I just wanted to make sure that you guys wanted to see it as well. But I also asked for transfer suggestions, and you left so many of them that I'm not going to be able to cover in this press conference, but I have added the ones that I'm most interested in to the shortlist, so I will show you guys that here in a second. But there were also some questions on who got relegated from the Premier League last season, and those teams that got relegated were Watford, Sunderland, and Reading. Liverpool barely beat out getting relegated only by goal differential. But here we are at the shortlist, and I'm going to go through this by precedence, meaning I'm going to start with the positions that I think we need to fill first and have the biggest priority, and end with the positions that we don't necessarily have to fill, but we would like to in this transfer window. Starting with the strikers, we have 3 of them listed, and our first one being Romelu Lukaku. And he's got some good stats across the board. Of course, he's very strong. He's got pretty good pace. But my concern about him is he's still 81 rated at 24 years old. I don't think he's grown too much over the course of career mode, making me think that he might be glitched and he might not be able to get too much growth for us. Next up, we got Paco Alcacer. And this guy has bags of potential in front of him and some incredible stats across the board. He's very well balanced. And I would love to have him in this team. I think he would fit well in a 2-striker formation. And finally, we got a very popular suggestion. Loads of you guys have left comments asking me to sign this guy, and he's probably my #1 target. Michy Batshuayi. He's playing for Marseille. I think he's in the lower 80s for his rating. He's only 23 years old, so he's got a lot of potential ahead of him. I'm going to try to scout him out a little bit more just to get a better idea of his rating. The next area I'd like to improve is our right mid or right wing position, and I've got 4 players listed here, and these guys would probably serve as a backup. We do have Hesse joining the team. By default, he's a left mid, but I plan on playing him at the right mid because he does have 4-star weak foot, and he could even play striker for us. So as of right now, the tentative plan is to have Hesse as our right mid and Tepstil as our left mid. And for these guys, Riyad Mahrez, he's had an incredible season in the Premier League this year. I think he'd be a good addition to the team as a backup. Gerard Deulofeu, he's really highly rated, and I think he costs a lot of money from Everton, but still, I would love to have him in this team. Nathan Redmond could be a cheap signing for us, and he could be an impact player coming off the bench. He's very quick, he's very skillful, and he's relatively cheap, so he's a good option. And if we want to go the realistic route, we could sign up Sam Byram, and he's also not going to cost us too much. He's got very balanced stats, so I would like to add him to the team. During this transfer window, I'd also like to sign a first-team center back. Currently, we've got Ogbonna at that 80 overall rating and Riedewald in the lower 80s, but I want to add that center back that is just world class. So I've got 3 listed here, Marquinhos, Laporte, as well as John Stones. They're going to cost a lot of money, but if we can get one of these guys, we're going to be set at our defense. Speaking of defenders, I'd also like to strengthen our fullback position, so I've got 4 left backs listed. Lendl is probably the most popular option that you guys have suggested, and he'd be a great fit. He plays for Bayer Leverkusen, who we beat, of course, in the EuroLeague final last year, so maybe that could incline him to join us instead. We've also got Robertson, who's quite pacey, and he's grown quite a bit since the start of career mode, so I think he'd be a good fit. Kurzawa is a fantastic player in Ultimate Team, so I don't see any reason he wouldn't be a good fit in career mode. And lastly, we've got Masuaku, who is a very balanced left back, and he would also rotate playtime with Cresswell. Now for the Ravel Morrison situation, I asked you guys whether we should sign him to this team, and the responses were still about 50-50. Half you guys said I should sign him, half you guys say it wouldn't be a good fit. And since we're so strong in the center attacking mid and center mid position, he is not going to be too high on my priority list. If we do have the extra funds, I will go after him, but otherwise, we're going to leave him at Lazio. We also have quite a few players listed. These are players that either requested a transfer or I just don't see them getting any play time for this team. We just need to get rid of the dead weight and try to get as many funds as we can. Of course, we got the preseason tournament to deal with, and I'll be going for this middle one, the European International Cup. It's the most potential prize money, and the teams are relatively strong, but I still feel like we're the strongest out of that bunch, so we're going to try to get to the final. If we do get to the final, then I will be playing that match. Alright, so the board has gotten back to us in terms of our objectives this season, and they want us to reach the semifinal of the Domestic Cup. They want us to qualify for the Champions Cup once again this season. They want us to reach the semifinal of the Champions Cup, which is a very difficult task. And then here's some confirmation that we do have Hesse joining us on that pre-contract deal that we made last season. So that's a great addition to the team. With the addition of Hesse, this is our tentative lineup, and that's not including any transfers that we might make. And we do plan on making quite a few transfers during this transfer window, so this lineup will be switching up quite a bit before our first Premier League game. Alright, so the first player I'm going to be going after is Batshuayi, and Marseille's target price is 21 million, so I'm going to try to pick him up for less than that, of course. And we're going to start off with a 12 million offer. It's pretty low, but sometimes you can get lucky, and these teams sometimes inflate the price heavily, so we'll see what they have to say to that. Sam Byram's another versatile player that I'd like to add to the team. He can play pretty much anywhere on the right-hand side, and West Ham have signed him in real life in the January transfer window, so I figure why not add him in this career mode, and he's pretty inexpensive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to include Cardenas on this deal, because of course we offered him that big contract to get the extra funds from last year, so we're going to find him right here. Here's Cardenas, and we're going to offer Leeds, let's say a 2.5 million deal, see what they have to say to that. Apparently Leicester City only want 8 million for Mahrez, and I think that is a fantastic deal for a backup right mid who's very skillful, he's quick, and can be an impact player coming off the bench. So I'm going to offer them, let's say 5 million to start off with, and if we can pick up Mahrez for that cheap, I'd be stoked. Now for the center backs, Laporta is going to be the most expensive, and Athletic Bilbao say they want 40 million for him. PSG said they want 26 million for Marquinhos, and Everton say they want 29 million for John Stones. So for now, I'm going to leave this negotiation between Marquinhos and John Stones. I'll be preferring John Stones just because he's English, and I think having him move on to West Ham would be an awesome signing, but Marquinhos would also be a suitable option. We're going to start negotiations with Everton at 15 million. I doubt Roberto Martinez would accept this, but might as well test the waters. Our first match in the European International Cup is going to be against Schalke, who is very good opposition, and we'll look at what kind of team they do have. And really, I'm not seeing too many changes to their starting 11 than what it would have been at the start of career mode. Of course, they got Geis and a couple other good players. Currently 2-1 going into halftime. Currently, Griezmann and Payet are netting a couple of goals. Of course, they're going to be good in simulated matches because they're pretty highly rated. But also, Antonio coming on and continuing his form from last season, or at least at the end of last season. And it makes it 4-1 against Schalke. I'm pretty happy about that kind of result against a quality Schalke side. To start the season off, this is what our training sessions are going to look like. I'm giving Ariza Blaga 2 trainings to maximize that goalkeeper growth. We're also training Riedewald in his defending, Neves in his defending, and Iheanacho in his dribbling. So let's simulate and see if we can get any growth in our first training session this season. And not in our first session, but I'm sure it's going to happen over the course of the season. We have our first transfer offer of the transfer window for Reece Burke from MK Dons, and I'm going to be accepting this offer. I just don't see Reece Burke getting any playing time for us, even in any cup games, because 63 rated, it's just not going to fit into our team right now. So our initial offers were rejected by both Marseille and Everton for Batshuayi and John Stones respectively. We're going to start with Marseille's offer, and they say they want 21 million. Our initial offer was 12 million. And we're going to up this on our way up to, let's start with 17 million. Meet them about halfway and see if they accept this. We have a loan offer from Crew Alexander for Hamden, and we'll accept the offer. It's going to free up a little bit of wages. I don't think it's really going to matter for us this season, but why not? And Leicester seem pretty set on that 8 million price tag for Mahrez, so we're going to have to increase our offer. I'm going to up it to 6.5, meet them halfway, see if they accept this. And Leeds don't seem too interested in Cardenas, so we're going to have to increase the transfer offer, or at least the monetary transfer offer, for Byram. I'm going to increase the transfer offer up to 4 million. That's not too far off from what they initially said. I think they'll accept this. Again, we'll be simulating our preseason match against Fiorentina this time, and that's ironic because that's a team that Mauro Zarate moved on to in real life. I've decided to keep Zarate in this team because he is just a fan favorite, and he is just too crucial to this team to let go. Unless, of course, we get a huge transfer offer, but I don't think that's going to happen because he's getting up there in age, and teams, for some reason, don't seem to want to offer big offers for players that are getting up there in age, but it looks like we might actually lose this game, which is unfortunate. Hopefully, we can get a draw, but that's not the case. We lose this one 1-0. And here's just an example of some of the offers I'm getting for Zarate. 4.3 million is an absolute joke. It's under his market value for the joint top goal scorer in the Premier League last season. And it looks like we might be on the path of making our first transfer in the summer transfer window. Marseille have accepted a 17 million transfer fee for Batshuayi, and now we got to get into the contract negotiations, which aren't always an easy task. He wants 70 grand a week, which is not too bad, only 10,000 more than what his current contract is on. He wants 4 years, and we're gonna give him that crucial first team player. We have our first transfer offer for Erikin from Southampton, 4.3 million. Personally, I don't think that's enough for him. I'm gonna try to get 6 million for him, even though I'm pretty sure that is less than what I initially paid for him. But oh well, he was a pretty good servant for the team, and he contributed some good goals, and own goals to be fair. And it seems like we're just getting all our transfer offers accepted now. Leeds have accepted a 4 million deal plus Cardenas for Byram. So let's get to that contract offer. He wants 30 grand a week, only 5,000 more than what he's currently on, and he wants that 4-year deal. Now, the issue might be the squad rules, so for now, I'm not going to specify, because honestly, I'm not sure what kind of squad role he really will be for us. So we'll see if he does accept this. I have a better idea of what Mars' squad role is going to be for this team, so I'm going to give him his 50 grand a week, 3 years, and I'm going to bump him down from the important first team player down to a squad rotational player. I think he'll still accept this, because he's going to be joining a more prestigious club than Leicester, who's getting into Champions League football, so hopefully that's enough incentives for him to accept the downgrade in the squad role. Now, this simulated match against Sporting is actually going to be pretty big for us if we do want to advance to the next rounds of the preseason tournament. They've won both their games, so I'm a little bit concerned about that. But hey, we played well against Schalke in our first match. Hopefully we can replicate that kind of form as we get into this game against Sporting. Still 0-0, and as I say that, it's 1-0. Griezmann getting the goal just before halftime, which is good for us. 60 minutes into the game, we are still up 1-0. Hopefully we can hang on for that result. We're still making some substitutions, and Payet looks like he's sealed the deal. We're going to be advancing to the next round, and hopefully we can get in through to the final. Well, I thought Batshuayi might be a bit hesitant to join the team, but that is not the case. He's willing to join West Ham, and I think he's excited to get into some Champions League football with us. Honestly, transfer negotiations was a piece of cake. Contract negotiations was no problem. Let's get him into the team in the starting 11. We're going to get into a bit of a player spotlight on Batshuayi. He's 80 rated, but hold on. I have to show you guys his stats. He does have 90 attacking positioning, so I'm hoping he's going to be able to net himself quite a few goals by being in the right place at the right time, which is a huge thing in career mode. He's also relatively quick, he's strong, and he's got pretty good ball control. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the 4-star skill moves, which is a bit of a letdown, but I think the 3-star skills will suffice, and he does not have any specialties or traits as of yet. And Southampton are not willing to accept the 6 million offer for Erikin, and I'm going to counter it again with 5.5 million. At the very least, I need to get his market value. Some more contract negotiations. Byram wants to understand the role that he's getting at the club. So we're going to have to break the truth for him. He might have to go from being a crucial first team player at Leeds to being a squad rotational player for us. I think that's the kind of role he's going to be for us. So I'm going to give him his 30 grand a week and the 4-year deal, and we'll see if he, like Mahrez, is willing to accept the downgrade in his squad role. But we will be accepting Mahrez's contract offer. He's going to be an exciting player for this team. He's got such silky skill moves, and he's quick. He's going to be such an impactful player coming off the bench for us. We'll get into the player spotlight on Mahrez, 76 rated, and I'm going to draw a lot of comparisons between him and Antonio, both very skillful players coming off the bench, and hopefully they're going to be super subs for us. Here's a look at his stats. He's got that great agility, which is everything that you want in a midfield player, especially on the wings. He's got the dribbling. He's also got the 4-star weak foot, 4-star skill moves, and he's got the versatility to play right mid, left mid, or center attacking mid. Also has the dribbler and long shot taker trait. We've got a transfer offer from Derby County for Iheanacho, and I'm very hesitant to sell him. He's got a lot of potential ahead of him, and we can train him up, easily get him over that 80 overall rating. However, I am open to counter offers, but the price I'm going to set is 25 million. The semifinal of the preseason tournament is going to pit us against the familiar opponent, Valencia. This is going to be the debut match for Batshuayi, and hopefully he can net himself a couple of goals and lead us to victory here. Faguli, though, does get the opening goal. Payet managing to tie things up, and he seems to be getting a lot of goals in this preseason. So hopefully that's a sign of things to come, because Payet was a bit disappointing at last season, I'm not going to lie. Wish he contributed a bit more, but you know, I was happy with the overall results we did get. So we get into the last 10 minutes. Payet gets another goal. So clutch in this game, and he leads us through to the final single-handedly. And Southampton have agreed to our counter offer of Erikin's market value, so we're going to get roughly 5 million added to the transfer budget. And it's about time that a team has come in for a transfer offer for Antoine Griezmann. I've had him on the transfer list for quite a while, and no team seemed to be biting. But Mönchengladbach's the first team, and we're going to set the counter offer up to 30 million flat. And if they accept that, that's going to give us quite a bit in the transfer budget. Derby County have gotten back to our counter offer, and they're willing to pay up 16 million. which to be honest, that's a lot of money for Iheanacho. However, he's too important to this team. I'm going to reject that unless the team comes in with a bigger offer. I'm surprised Derby County has that much money to spend. But moving on, Sam Byram has accepted our contract offer, which is just exciting stuff. I'm really glad he decided to join us here at West Ham, and even being a squad rotational player, he'll still play an important role for us this season. But we don't have the financial means, but we can, yeah, we can do that. It doesn't matter, really. He's going to be added to the team. Fantastic stuff. And the last thing I want to show you guys is some funny stuff. Apparently, Bayern are going in for frickin' Ravel Morrison, which is just a joke. I don't even know why Bayern are going in for him, but it is what it is. Career mode is just ridiculous sometimes. We'll get into the player spotlight on Sam Byram, 74 rated, and he just has such balanced mental and physical stats, all in that light green, couple in the dark green. And his skill attributes are not too bad. The thing I like the most about him is his versatility. He can play right mid, but he can also play a defensive position like right back. And he's so young, so he's got a lot of potential ahead of him. I do plan on training him up. He does not have any specialties or traits though. Well, here we are. We've made it to the final, and we have been pitted up against Borussia Mönchengladbach. And this is the team I'm putting out for this game. I'm excited to have a chance to get to use Batshuayi as well as Hesse here on the right-hand side. And our substitutes are just filled with players that we've just added to the team. We've got Sam Byram here, right mid, ready to come on as a substitute. We've got Mahrez. And yeah, I'm ready to use these unlimited substitutions in the preseason. Here's a look at the Borussia Mönchengladbach team, and I don't think they've made too many signings since the start of the career mode. With that said, they already do have a good team at the start of career mode. We got to watch out for Granit Xhaka. He was a player that I thought about signing for this West Ham team, but it just didn't happen. So yeah, I know how good of a player he can be. We need to watch out for him. The pressure has been applied. Now it's Cresswell on the ball. He just has to square this across. What a through ball over to Antoine Griezmann. Just has to finish it coolly. And that is why I want to sell Antoine Griezmann. He just does too much, and even on easy finishes, he's just not able to put him away. For an 84 rated striker, he just doesn't play like it. Oh, Herman's gonna play it through the vent. This is dangerous stuff. Oh, and that's gonna hit the side netting. It took a block from someone. Arrizabalaga made a fantastic save. A closer look at it, and Arrizabalaga did get a glove on it. That is why I love having him in between the sticks for us. And here are the stats. It definitely looks like Mönchengladbach have been the dominant team, whether that's in shots on target, or possession. Let's make some substitutions and see if we can get any of our new transfers to make an impact. Here's Byram trying to get a little bit more involved in this attack. And here he is, skipping by a couple players. He's going to lay off the pass, and now it's Zarate. Asking Byram to move forward, and he's going to look for the through ball. And again, oh, that was a good bit of passing. If only we could have found the target. 15 minutes left, and we're gonna have to get a goal late on. Can we just play this across? This is Mahrez. What can Mahrez do with it? Can he cut inside? He gets by one defender. The finesse shot. Oh, it takes a deflection off Schultz. If only Mahrez could have put that away. There's Korb. Korb's gonna play it inside. This is a good bit of passing. Now it's Traore. He's gonna play it backwards. Korb again. The cross sent in. And Arrizabalaga just swats it away. And again, he blocks the... Oh my goodness, Arrizabalaga. I just can't even handle this guy sometimes. The saves he makes are just incredible. It's the end of regulation time, and we're going to have to go into extra time. I don't know what we're going to have to change in order to get a goal, but we have to change something because the stats are not in our favor. Well, apparently we're going straight into penalties, so we're going to have to test our luck. Arrizabalaga is having a fantastic game, so I would almost favor us in this situation.
One eternity later.
Mahrez... Oh, he saves it. No. Well, Granit Xhaka, the captain, I don't think they would want any other player taking this. Down the middle? No, it's off to the right. Finally, Mönchengladbach get the win. About freaking time. That was the longest penalty kick I've had thus far this year. Unfortunately, we did not end up being victorious in it. But Mönchengladbach deserved that win. Well, guys, here are the stats from the game. I'm hoping that we do start to turn up once the Premier League does start. To be fair, we've got a lot of new faces in the team, and I think the team just needs to adjust a little bit. But guys, that's going to bring an end to the episode today. Let me know what you guys thought about the transfer deals thus far, and if you guys want to leave a comment on whatever future signings you think I should make with the remaining funds, just go ahead and do that in the comment section. I'll be reviewing them for the next episode. But guys, hope you did enjoy today's episode. If you did, make sure to leave a like down below. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. And until next time, this has been Flick. I'll be talking to you guys again soon.